we saw how Arsenal lost out in trying to sign Modric to the club, and then Chelsea hijacked that deal. Well, Chelsea had the spending power of Todd Bowley. He's got a lot of money to spend. He said he has about 1.5 billion pounds to invest in the club. So spending 190 million pounds is nothing. He's just scratching the surface, just yet. But let's talk about one surprise signing. Were you surprised? Surprised when you heard the Trossard to Arsenal deal? Eddie, were you surprised?
I was a little bit surprised, if I'm completely honest. Not because he's not a great player, he's not a good player. I mean, I think we're going to go into, some of the things around Trossard. I think it was just the fact that I didn't expect that Arsenal were going to pull up a Premier League player, in this window. And I think that it's been very opportunistic for Arsenal, considering what's been happening at Brighton with regarding to Trossard. And so it sort of made that deal happen. So I was pleasantly surprised, one, with the willingness of Brighton. But then again, if you look at what has happened, maybe it was good for both parties, to get that. And Trossard, if you look at him, he came into Brighton in 2 years ago. I think it was 2019. He joined Brighton from Genk. And that was for about 15 million euros. So Brighton has more than made, enough money, from that deal, for a player that has probably scored about 20 something goals in 100 and something, appearances. So, they've done very well in the game. So I think it's a good signing. Trossard plays predominantly on that left side. I know he says he sees himself as more as a pocket player behind the striker. But I think, he's that, backup for Martinelli, that we've been looking for. With the view that, you could change things, if you want to move Martinelli, up front, you've got a player that can come in, and he has scored in big games, Trossard. So I think he comes with quite a bit of pedigree. I think it's a good signing for Arsenal.
I agree with you that it's a good signing for Arsenal. Let me ask you the same question, Festus. Were you surprised when you heard about the deal to bring Trossard to Arsenal?
Yes, Kali, I was very surprised. I wasn't expecting it. The news all over the place was the Modric and what was this guy? The two guys Chelsea took from us. So it's all about what we're all concentrated on. I was shocked and pleasantly happy when I heard from nowhere that we've signed him. But upon investigation, I found out that the guy has always wanted to leave. He has about 18 months in his contract with them and refused to sign the new contract given to him. So clearly, when Arsenal came calling, he jumped on it. And because they don't want to lose him also, they know this is the best time to get something good from it. It's not a bad one for both clubs. The club, like Eddie said, they've used him over the years and he has actually delivered for them. And they've sold him almost double of what they bought him after using him for 4 or 5 years or thereabout. And for us, he comes in, not even just a substitute, but this is exactly what we've been asking for. Getting something similar, getting close to 80-90% of the quality we have on ground. So I'm surprised that he came, and I'm happy that he came, because now we have a good cover for Martinelli. We have somebody that could almost do the job Martinelli will do, because Trossard is a very good signing, and he will fit in well with our kind of football, our brand of football. He's a skillful player. His close control to the ball is good, and his scoring ability. He may not be a prolific scorer, but he actually he's good. He scores from time to time, and he also is a quality addition to the attack, the strike force for Arsenal. So I'm happy, Kali. I'm very happy.
Okay, Eddie, Festus has started, he started talking about the qualities the man possesses. And, you can't limit him to just a left winger. That's one of the things he's done for while he was in Belgium with Genk. And then when he moved to Brighton and Hove Albion, we've seen him play across that front three. He's played as a 9, a false 9. He's played on the right wing. He's played on the left wing. I love his close control. He's got a very, very good close control. He's very comfortable with the ball at his feet. He likes to run with the ball every now and then. And then you look at these qualities and whatever you think of him, and you look at the way Arsenal play right now. Do you think this is a fit?
Absolutely, I think it's a fit. First thing I want to say is, he's picking up the number 19 shirt, which is a legendary, shirt for Arsenal. We've got the likes of Gilberto Silva, who wore that shirt with distinction. And of course, the fans' favorite, Santi Cazorla, the little magician, all in that park, doing all the mesmerizing things in the middle of the field. So it's a great number as well for him to wear. And I think it's going to go well with the fans. Now, going to Trossard, I think that you're absolutely right. In fact, there is a stat that he's actually, scored as many goals, I think, with his left foot as with his right foot in the Premier League. So he's a player that is very, very comfortable with both left and right foot. So that means that you can actually play him across that whole front line. I think with the way that Arsenal plays, with the way now we can have a player that can maybe change positions during the match, so maybe he's playing on the left and, maybe he's not getting joy, you can switch him to the right, and Saka can do that. Saka can play both left and right as well. So I think that he's a great fit to the way that we play.
Awesome. I totally agree with you guys. I think it's a great fit. Sometimes it's a big risk when you want to bring a greenhorn, someone from outside the league, a young player from outside the league. Yes, Modric will have been a very, very exciting signing for Arsenal. The good addition. He falls within the age bracket of the kind of signings Arsenal have made in recent times. But, one of the things I respect about what Edu Arteta and Josh Kroenke have been doing is you need to strike a balance in the team. We brought in Partey. Partey is not a young guy, but he's got the experience to carry the team from the middle, and himself and Xhaka have been doing that. They've been like the leaders in the team, carrying the team from the middle. Now you have another player with Premier League. He's already spent 2 seasons in the Premier League, so he understands what the Premier League is about. He understands the rigors. We're not going to talk about, he needs to build his physicality and he needs to build his physique. We're not going to be talking about all that because he's done it. He's a big game player. This season alone, he's played 16 games for Brighton. He has scored, I think, about 7 goals already. This season, he's scored about 7 goals, and he's had 3 assists in there. So he's a midfielder or a winger who has an eye for goal. And to look back at the Newcastle game, these are the kind of options you want. These are the kind of options that if you have him on the bench, you are not just throwing him in just because you need to do a substitution.
Somebody like that, somebody like Smith Rowe also, if he was fit,
Yeah, so you're throwing the Trossard in. You're throwing the Trossard in because he can effect some changes. What he can bring into the game immediately. So I think it's a very, very good fit for Arsenal, and I think Arsenal have done they've performed miracles with this signing already, and it's amazing how Arsenal have gone on to sign 2 more, to have agreements with 2 more players, in this same window, when a lot of Arsenal fans were already getting uneasy about people like Eddie were already saying, don't build up
squad depth,
squad depth and all of that. And like I said, the other day when we're talking, and which Festus also alluded to, these guys, I'm talking about Josh Kroenke, Edu, and Arteta, they've shown us in the last few years that we can trust them. And I think it's
Hey, you need to trust them. You need to trust them.
When you begin to doubt them after what they've done to this point, I think it doesn't make any
disservice to them,
sense. It's a disservice to what they've done so far. They've taken us to the top of the table. All of us are dreaming already.
They are playing good football. They are taking us to the top of the table. They are giving us confidence against any team.
A lot
Come
of confidence.
On, what else you want? And they are signing for the future. It's not like
not just for now.
Buying the way the City and the Chelsea bought the old days where they just bought established names and
City didn't just buy you. Some of the
players.
The
first time they started with the first manager, they just bought them. When the likes of Guardiola's and Guardiola started building across. But what I'm saying,
Craig Bellamy.
Yeah, exactly. They don't vote anyhow then. In order to, they almost attempted it like 2-3 times before they finally won.
But they won the title
after like 2 attempts. Kali, what I'm saying
here,
the title. These guys are buying for the, and you can see it clearly. Kali, a quick question before you continue. Between Trossard we just bought, which we're all happy and we could all see what he brings in. Do you think he should be starting for Arsenal?
So it depends on the manager. That's not my call. It's not our call.
No. I'm asking for your opinion. We are not,
no,
we know
that's my opinion. This is my opinion I'm giving you. It's that depends on. So like I say, and it's what I've said everywhere. I trust Arteta so much right now. I trusted him from the start. I can say wholeheartedly that I'm one of the extremely few people who never believed Arteta was doing anything wrong. I was one of the extremely few people who said it. I said it on radio. I said it on TV. I said
you
it
on a very short list.
So yeah, but I was so sure that something was changing about the way we were playing. Even though the results weren't coming, I could see the fight.
We didn't see it.
No, so you at some point didn't see it because I remember very well.
I didn't. I wanted him out after the first.
So I trust the man, and that's why I'm not going to determine who he plays or preempt who he plays. If he decides tomorrow that what's his name, Lokonga starts ahead of Xhaka, I will support him. I will trust him until I see what he's trying to do, because he has shown me over time that he knows what he's doing and he knows how to get us to where we're going to. And that's why I'm going to trust him. So Trossard has come into the side. It's a blessing for the team. It can rotate the squad comfortably now. Trossard can start, Saka can rest. You know what we did? You know what we were saying last week? Martinelli is starting to look like someone who is tired. This same thing happened to Saka towards the end of last season. Now we have a Trossard who can go straight into the team and start. I was happy. He was in the afternoon training session with the team, with Arsenal today. It was in the afternoon training session. They've already registered him for the United game. He's going to be on the bench, for the United game. Eventually, we have a squad that we can now rotate. If the Polish guy comes as left centre back as well, Gabriel Magalhaes has played every game for Arsenal apart from one. He needs to rest as well. So Gabriel Magalhaes has someone who can deputize for him in the side. Look at the way Kerenteni and Zinchenko have been alternated. So we have players now that we can alternate them. We can play this today, play that tomorrow. We have the cup game. Let me tell you, I wanted to tell you my dreams. You people are dreaming about Premier League. I'm dreaming of the Europa League and the Premier League. Call me longer truth now, Nasabi.